Hello, I'm Ryan Weems, BG Technical Service. We're here today to do a BG PF7 brake service on this vehicle. We've got a neat little cutaway here that we can demonstrate how a typical brake system works on a vehicle. What we're wanting to do in this system has brake fluid in here. Okay, what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to take all that old brake fluid out and put new brake fluid in. We can do that using our BG PF7 brake fluid machine. But first we've got to ask, why do we want to change that fluid? As you can see, we've got a lot of components here. Starting with the master cylinder, we've got metal components in here. We've got rubber O-rings, seals, things of that nature. Also in our caliper, we've got metal components. We've got the pistons. We've got seals. We've got O-rings. Once again, we've got them components. We've got the lines themselves have rubber hoses on them. The brake fluid is designed to protect that system, okay? When brake fluid starts to break down or wear out, what happens is it can no longer protect the metal components in the master cylinder and or the reservoir and or the lines. The other problem we have is that brake fluid, it likes water. They call it hygroscopy. And what that means is over a period of time, the brake fluid will actually absorb water into the system. So, I mean, as we all know, water can be corrosive. So the combination of the fluid being wore out and the fluid having a certain amount of water in there is going to cause bad things for the life of this system. I'm going to ask my assistant, Cody Lyons. He's also a BG Technical Service. He's going to help us with the service today. BG offers 3 fluids, a DOT 3, a DOT 4, and a Super DOT 4. We've decided to use our DOT 4 fluid today. Now we're going to go ahead and get hooked up to the vehicle and perform the service. The first thing Cody's going to do is he's actually going to fill the tool. So we've added a quart of brake fluid to the machine. The machine is air powered, so we've got to hook the machine up to an air source, so that's not a problem. After that, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to locate the reservoir on the vehicle. The machine has a vacuum side, a vacuum option on the machine. So what we're going to do is we're going to use that option. We're going to use the used fluid hose with the suction wand, and we're going to pull all the old fluid out of the reservoir as possible. As you can see, he turned the vacuum pump on. We can hear it running. Why do we want to pull that old fluid out of there? There's a certain amount of used fluid in that reservoir. As we're doing the service, we want to get as much of that out of there as possible so that when we're putting new fluid in, the new fluid isn't intermixing with the old fluid. The next thing what we need to do is we need to choose the appropriate adapter for the vehicle. We've got several different adapters available. Cody's got it picked out for us. We're actually going to install the adapter onto the reservoir. The next thing, we're going to take our new fluid hose, which is our pressure hose on the PF7, and we're actually going to hook it up to the reservoir. Then we're going to open our ball valve. At this point, we're going to raise the pressure. We got a control knob right on the front of the machine. We can watch our pressure gauge right on the front of the machine. And what we're doing is we're raising the pressure on this particular vehicle in between 12 to 14 psi. Actually, what that's doing is putting air pressure in the top of this reservoir, and as you can see, the fluid level is going down. What's happening is fluid level is actually filling the reservoir as we're talking here. Now we are going to raise the vehicle. We have pressurized fluid on the reservoir. What Cody's done is he's started at the wheel farthest from the master cylinder. So on this vehicle, that's the technique that we're going to use. He's going to locate the wheel farthest from the master cylinder, which is the right rear. He's going to, or what he did, is he took the suction wand that's hooked to the suction hose of the machine. He located or determined which bleeder adapter to use. He placed the bleeder adapter on the bleeder. Use our suction wand. Suction wand is going back to the machine. We've got vacuum suction here. We're going to open that bleeder. When we open that bleeder, the pressure that's coming from our machine of the new fluid is going to push the new fluid through the master cylinder, through the line, through the caliper, out the bleeder, through our suction hose, through the suction hose, the used fluid hose that's going back to the machine, to the used tank. What's happening right now, Cody's on our fourth wheel here, okay? No problem. The fluid level's going down. We're gonna, right here when we get to the indicator, and I'll let him know when we get there, that means that the service is complete. We've been through all four wheels. As we can see, we're to our mark, the bottom mark. Cody can go ahead and close the bleeder screw. He's done with the service, right? He's gone to all four wheels, so we no longer need our vacuum or suction side, so we're gonna turn that off. We've got the vehicle back on the ground, so the next thing what we want to do is we want to take the machine off the vehicle, disconnect the machine from the vehicle. So the first thing we're going to do, we still have pressure on the brake system of this vehicle, so we're going to relieve that pressure first. Cody's going to hit the pressure release button, make sure that our gauge is all the way to 0. Okay, at this point, we're safe to remove the adapter and the new fluid hose from the vehicle. So he's going to close his ball valve first on the new fluid hose, make sure this ball valve gets closed. He's going to remove the adapter. While he's in there, he's going to make sure the fluid level is where it's supposed to be. If we need to make adjustments, we'll do that accordingly. This is a fast and efficient service. It needs to be performed every 30,000 miles. This brake service, that's how you keep this brake system operating properly for life.